In 2023, Canada recorded the largest population growth in its modern history, with more than 1.2 million people joining the country in a single year, 96% of whom came through temporary or permanent immigration. This happened at a time when Canada was building about 245,001 housing units per year. Demand became 5 times greater than supply, prices skyrocketed, rents soared, and many people couldn't find places to live. The Canadian government itself said that immigration is responsible for 11% of the increase in housing costs and rents. But this was just the beginning of the story, not the end. The issue started simply. Canada is a country with an aging population where more people die than are born, so they decided to open up immigration. Instead of bringing in random immigrants, they focused on students because they're young, educated, spend money in the country, and can be easily integrated into the job market. But what happened was completely the opposite. The situation got out of control, applications increased, and residency permits were granted in bulk to the country. And for every person who came to study, there were 20 more coming after them. Or after him, and India was on the front line. From 30,000 Indian students in 2015, they became more than 278,000 students in 2023. And almost every one of them applied for residency. And those who got residency in their hands, they brought all their relatives, and those who brought their relatives helped them find jobs, and the country filled up with Indians. As you walk through the streets of Toronto or Vancouver, you'll find yourself searching for a Canadian. There are no Canadians left in Canada. It's become normal to hear Punjabi more than English on the street. Stores are looking for drivers who speak Hindi. Call centers are staffed only with people from this community, and anyone who isn't from the same group gets sidelined or feels like an outsider in their own country. Society has started to change not in terms of religion or skin color, but rather in terms of feeling and belonging to the country. People started feeling like strangers in their own country, and we began hearing the same phrase repeated everywhere in Canada. We're not against immigration, but we don't feel like this country is ours anymore. The shock was that the government wasn't feeling this. They were just seeing numbers in an Excel spreadsheet. Immigrants pay taxes, work, and consume in the country. Is everything fine then? But no one calculated that streets have character, language plays a role, and schools need to accommodate Canadian children before becoming filled with other languages. No one mentioned that all this would cost the infrastructure an additional $7 billion each year at a time when the country already has a deficit of $46 billion. The calculation was wrong from the beginning, and the price was paid not just in the budget, but in the fabric of their society. Before we start explaining and analyzing this, we must ask, how did an entire country like Canada transform from a homeland for Canadians to a sphere of influence? Why have Canadian policies failed to achieve a balance between national identity and diversity in the country? And the most important question of all, has the Canadian government really lost control? Or is this all part of a political expansion plan? Before we start, and before I answer these questions for you, send blessings upon the Prophet, and go subscribe to the channel of Muhammad Salah and hit that red button. For what happened next, it wasn't just a crisis.